Welcome back. You're watching Newsx. I'm Udar Pratap Singh. Our big focus this hour. New and disturbing details have surfaced in the gruesome murder case of Saurabh Rajput, allegedly killed by his wife Muskaan Rastogi and a lover Sahil Shukla. A video of the couple has emerged that purportedly showed Muskaan and Sahil attending a Holi party, and in another clip, Muskaan is shown celebrating Sahil's birthday just 11 days after the brutal murder. A cab driver whose vehicle Muskaan Rastogi and a lover Sahil Shukla took for a mountain trip in Himachal Pradesh after her husband Saurabh Rajput's murder in UP's Meerut shared all the details of their journey. He told that based on their behavior, it didn't feel like they had just killed the 29-year-old Navy merchant individual. The driver added that throughout the journey to Shimla and Manali, Muskaan and Sahil both barely spoke to each other. Muskaan only received 2 calls from her mother during the trip. He also added that Sahil used to drink 2 bottles of alcohol every day, and Muskaan drank 3 cans of beer brought from Shamli after arriving in Himachal Pradesh. He also added the 2 celebrated Holi with great enthusiasm. The cab was booked for 15 days at a cost of 54,000 rupees. The driver also claimed that he was unaware of any wrongdoing. They had just stayed in Shimla and Manali. Remember, Muskaan and Sahil had confessed to having stabbed Saurabh to death on the 4th of March. The two then chopped up his body, put the remains inside a drum and sealed it with cement. Sahil's room meanwhile offered a glimpse into his psyche as well, a dimly lit space with broken walls filled with satanic symbols, empty beer cans and a text on the wall saying, "You can't trip with us." Dr. Kapil Kakkar, psychologist, is joining us live. Dr. Nisha Khanna, psychologist, is also with us on the broadcast. Erin Rao, former DCP Special Cell, is joining us live. Sanjay Chadda, Supreme Court lawyer, is also with us on the broadcast. Let me make a start with you first, Dr. Kapil Kakkar. What kind of psyche are we getting to know about the alleged murderers through these details emerging about their personal spaces, where there are these satanic symbols, dark, dim-lit spaces, alcohol bottles strewn over? The driver also of the two claims that they were drinking constantly. They barely spoke with each other. Interestingly, from their behavior, he says it didn't look like they just committed such a heinous crime.
What I have, whatever information I have got and I have been able to assimilate and see, I find that this man, I think Shakil or whatever his name was, this man is primarily, he's more of a delusional character, because his own grandfather from his mother's side, he was into Tantra and Mantra. And I think that is what he has taken from there. And such people, they tend to get God complex. And when these people, they get God complex, they have a lot of faith that they can do a lot of things with so-called Tantra, Mantra, what he has tried to do. Now, the lady, she wanted to get rid of her husband, perhaps because of that long distance relationship. She, over a period of time, had an emotional divorce. And she became slowly depressed and she got into this criminal-minded act, where I think she found this guy who I understand is her ex-boyfriend, and she knew him for past a lot of time in the past, and that is where they connived, because this man showed him how he could do through his God complex and Tantra Mantra, and this lady wanted him. And after the murder, she was wanting that there should not be any kind of regret or guilt. And I think Tantra Mantra is the best support system which she could get. And she got into this act of murder. So primarily, my point is, this lady had no emotional connect left with her husband. And for him, he had become an impediment. And for him, and for her, she had only choice was, if she wanted her freedom back, if she wanted that she lived life on her own terms. And look at the irony. She was taking the money, because I spoke to this driver, I was yesterday, and he told me not a single penny was spent by that man. All the time, all the transactions happened through this lady. So this lady was Muskaan. She was using the money of Saurabh, her husband, but at the same time, she wanted to eliminate him. So such was the level of convenience for her, that she wanted a lot of things, but at the same time, she didn't want that man from where the income was coming from. So this primarily clearly shows this lady had a criminal mind, but for me, the man was more on the delusional side, because he thought that he had those supernatural powers which could help this lady get into the thing which they finally got. One last thing, like you rightly said, when I spoke to this driver yesterday, he said during those 5, 6, 7 hours, they did not interact, both of them. And for 13 days when the cab was with them, they were not using the cab much. They were much on by themselves. This primarily shows that they knew what they were doing. They had a very clear fixated ideas, and that is where this criminal mindset had taken. So it was a quid pro quo where this lady got what she wanted through this guy called Sahil and through his Tantra Mantra, and Sahil got what he wanted from this lady.
Dr. Nishi Khanna, come in here. Dr. Nisha Khanna, come in here and tell us about what you interpret through this behavior that the driver has detailed, these details tumbling out, also this graffiti, from the accused's room walls. What does it tell us about his personality and the personality that one would have to commit such a crime and then go and party and on a holiday afterwards in Himachal Pradesh, even celebrating Holi together with much gusto reportedly?
So such cases where women plan the murder of their husband is called matricides. In the cases of matricide, the reasons can be different. The major, I would say, the psychological cause you can say is the reason is they have psychotic symptoms. There are psychiatric illnesses behind that. So mental health concerns are the major issues. Now, under this mental health issues, the person must be or the couple must be having compatibility issues. Even when you are seeing the condition of the room where this guy Sahil was residing, in that particular, the pictures were displaying about the emotions of different people. These people were under the state of intoxication. They were drinking alcohol, having drugs, and was in relationship. And it's very common in our society when we are in touch with our exes through the social media, Instagram, whatever, Facebook, and whatever the mediums we have in today's culture. At that side, when there is an incompatibility between the relationships, and when two people are unable to get out or resolve their conflicts between each other, then they find it out the way, because sometimes the kids are involved. Sometimes kids are also not involved. Still, we are so much emotionally attached to or codependent on each other. We think of the extremes. And such cold-blooded mother, when a person does, then the person doesn't have remorse, any sort of. It may be due to the delusional, the way my colleague said it, Mr. Occult, delusional and hallucinations were the symptoms. It may be a case of schizophrenia. Sometimes people have borderline personality disorders. Maybe they are suffering this. They can't live alone. And when the pictures of the room I have seen where the Sahil was residing is talking about, he was very egoistic guy. Definitely the pictures on the, I would say they're describing about the Shivas, Adi Yogi picture, where it is talking about detachment, where the Trishul sign was there, which is talking about the destroying thing. The girls which was swinging on the swing, and heart was there, maybe I'm the personality, where maybe my partner, I have full of heart, full of love, but my partner is not understanding. And whatever the conversations through the social media and the news channels or the newspapers I read it about, I'm able to see there are other differences, but due to the money thing, I'm sorry to say, but this is the cold reality of our life, that when we have differences between the partners, the money involved in the cases when you go for a divorce. And our judiciary is also the somewhere responsible for that, because when one partner doesn't want to reside with other and they are unable to resolve their differences, we do not mutually resolve them. We go to the court and we ask for alimony and whatever it is. And people, in spite of giving importance to mental health or their money, they give importance to more money. They don't think their life is more important. Their mental health is more important. Any couple who is having differences, they have the right to mutually either take divorce. If they are not taking mutually, they can go for a contestant thing. If the differences are unable to resolve, why can't you go and meet a psychologist or a marriage counselor where you can resolve your differences? If incompatibilities, I would, through your channel, I would tell the people that if you are in the marriages where there are the kids even involved, do not put a wrong image of yourself as a parent in front of the kids, because your 5 years old child, what would be the future of that child, where the mother along with the boyfriend killed the husband? So you have to understand their psyche was totally out of the question. It is a psychopathic personalities these people must be having. Maybe the surrounding people not able to identify. If they were identified also, they ignored, may be able to handle it. So I would say where the differences or incompatibility between the couples are there, the violence signs are there, where the too much of verbal abuse, too much of I would say threatenings are there, maybe due to the past traumas, their childhood experiences. Along with that, I would say the anger issues were there, alexithymia must be there, it may be the antisocial personality would be there. All these traits somewhere I would say hinting towards a person must be suffering from one or the other illness, maybe never went for the treatment, and people in our society is feeling that this mental health condition is very okay. We have anger management we require. There are numerous I would say explosive disorders. They are where the people think of that in the burst of anger they just kill the partner. It's very common. Why? Because we do not deal with the underlying issues. We do not go to the psychiatrist. We do not go to the psychologist where we sit for hours and hours, talk about our suppressed feelings, which is very important. And then we blame society, we blame judiciary, we blame parents, we blame that I want to do the love marriage. Okay, I left it. The kids are involved. I think so. We should need to address these issues, and we need to go to the psychologist or a psychiatrist or a professionals to sort out your mental health issues. And in spite of giving importance to money or any other thing, we should give importance to our own health.
Okay, let me in fact take that across to Ellen Rao as well. Ellen Rao, more details of course stumbling out about the personalities of these two accused. What do you make of course, their behavior after committing this crime? Are you surprised by it? Are these hardened criminal traits that are of course coming out of these two? What do you make of course of what we are hearing about what transpired after the murder?
Yes, good evening, Uday. This is really very shocking that after committing such a heinous crime, they both both accused persons traveled to hill stations and they enjoyed their life and enjoyed their hooligans, and fully knowing that the dead body is lying there in their house. And this is definitely something different, and which is not it's not a normal thing in the criminal's mind. It seems that they are not hardened criminals. They are, I think, they are not. They are not having any previous record. Still, they are enjoying this thing. It shows that their mental health or psychologically they are so badly treated, and their psychology is like this. That after committing this murder, and then they are enjoying that. These things are revealed by the driver of the cab in which they travel to Manali and all places. And one more thing, that they are addicted to the drinking habits and some other drugs also there. And keeping in view the scene in their crime of Sahil's room, that also giving some hints that he was having some tantric, under some tantric he was working like that. And because of that, they may be having some other abnormal behavior in such a case. It's a very life has been lost. The very upcoming life of this person, husband of this woman, was killed by them. And it seems that I am fully agree with Dr. Nisha also, because in our society we are having not having very good the cordial relationship with your own. Because of this, we are having a nuclear families, and joint family system has been abolished, and these people who are living alone, they may be having some disorder and depression disease, and all these type of diseases, because of psychological disease and so many other things, they tend them to do such type of act and abnormalities. And more or less, I must tell you, the nowadays media also is playing a vital role in brainwashing the youth of our country. And because everything is adversely available, rather I must say adversely available in social media, and because of these reasons, such type of cases are being committed. And more so, in the recent past, 2 years back, there was some case of in Delhi, South Delhi. There was that one body was broken into pieces and then it was thrown into jungle. These type of cases are also give some hint to the youth people who are having some strained relationship between their beloved, or maybe with their friend. They are living in a living relationship life. So all these things are to be addressed by our society, and society becomes from the family, and then social obligations are there, and these are really worrying about the nowadays circumstances that such type of cases are happening, not only in Delhi, all over in India. These type of cases are being reported, Uday. And really, this is a very revealing things in this case also.
Yes.
And we as citizens.
Sanjay Chedda, let me get you in here. Sanjay Chedda, are these now details, the driver's testimony and other, inputs that can be used in the trial as well, that can perhaps be used for a more stringent sentence against the accused? What do you make of the details, and could they now be used in the course of the trial ahead?
Uday, very rightly you have said that these all things will be used in the trial, and they are totally against the accused persons. I was going through the news clip which was saying that autopsy has been done and the report has come forward. Multiple stab wounds are there, Lord. One. Number two, there is a neck which is being severed. The limbs have been cut. Body is severely damaged. Which is now, when they take out it was beyond recognition. What it shows, we have talked, all the very, very important panelists here have spoken about the mental state of affairs. I am talking specifically to you that as far as the legal point is concerned, body was concealed in the drum, cement drum, you have said. The severity is shocking, I must say. It is cold-blooded murder, number one. Number two, to me, it comes within the definition, four walls of rarest of the rare case. So much of inhuman treatment. On the one hand, our constitution provides for the right to life. Similarly, we have right to die with dignity. That right has also been taken away. So, what I want to say is this is one of the cases where the courts will take into account all these events which we have just narrated. The statement of driver is really very, very important, through which everything has been reached. And now the confessional statement made by both the accused people. They have said that yes, they have done, and how they have done it. Number one. Number two, in criminal law, what we do, Mr. Rao will appreciate it. We have to see the chain of events. Here, the chain of event is absolutely clear. And that's what is the case. The autopsy report and the other things are taking to only one conclusion, that they are there. They are the main accused. They have done this heinous crime, cold-blooded murder, and they should be, to me, I feel it is a rarest of the rare case where the only punishment which they deserve is capital punishment.
Okay, let me in fact quickly go back then across to you as well, Dr. Kakkar, on also now these satanic symbols as well coming out. People are wondering what this connection, this issue is. Is it an occult angle now emerging to the crime, to the murder? What is these symbols and this new mantra angle as well that you were citing earlier in this crime?
See, we have to understand here, it's a collaboration between two individuals where the occult science has been the driving force. Now, the Sahil, apparently, who convinced her that he was the master of the occult science and he can do the needful, what this lady wanted him to do, is where he convinced her through those pictures and the graffitis. And apparently, what I have heard is this Saurabh's mother also said that when this lady was staying with her and Saurabh was not there, she used to write things in Urdu. So in psychology, we also have something called shared psychosis. If somebody is psychotic, which I'm sure this man is, but over a period of time, this lady also got into that trap of shared psychosis. And this, I will not say exactly a trap, because she also created a trap for him. Because so it was a mutual trap which they created for each other, because the lady wanted to get out of this relationship at any cost against her. And then when we're talking about the way the body etc. was chopped, it clearly under the cover of occult science. Because for me, this man would have, through this tantra, since he was supposed to be good at it, is how he had convinced her, he would have done, if not on human beings, but on animals several times. And he exactly knew how to dump it, what to do, how to put cement, etc., the way he did in this case. So there is a very clear thing that these people, they not only knew what they were doing, but the man involved, or the driving force of the occult science, knew what the procedure was, what he had to do, how the body had to be disposed of, etc., etc. One last thing, when you were talking about they going for Holi, etc., to Shimla, Manali, this was an act of celebration, which shows that these people, the two of them, were so elated, were in fact so elated to what they had done, is what they felt to be an achievement. So my point is that they were so convinced with themselves that the act which they did was an act which they will never regret in life. And I can assure you, today when this lady would be in the prison, she would have no regret. This man might still think that he is in some kind of a soup, but this lady, because like I said, or like Nisha also said, she showed this psychopathic kind of tendencies. But then another question comes, why did she confess to her mother? It was a stepmother, but why did she confess? Because this was the first time crime. Like Mr. Rao was talking about, that this hardcore murder, but they don't have any police record. They were able to confess because of the guilt which they carried, which they were not expecting, because they thought through the occult science and whatever drama which they did in form of putting the tantra, that it would be enough for them to get out of it.
Okay, let me quickly, in fact, get in now at this point. Ellen Rao, once again, Ellen Rao, at the end of the day also, as far as now this particular case is concerned, do you believe it's an open and shut case for the prosecution? It's an open and shut case for the police, or will there be more evidence needed now?
This is not an open and shut case, but no doubt for evidences, police has to.
The autopsy also has revealed brutality reportedly.
Yes, brutality also, as Mr. Chadha has said, it comes into the category of rarest of the rare cases. But to prove that, I think that evidence, there are two parts of this case. One part is the investigation. All the evidences are to be connected and corroborated with each other, so that the chain of evidences are proved in the trial. And during trial, definitely all these witnesses, like this driver is also very crucial witness in this case, because in this matter there is no eyewitnesses at all. All cases, depending on circumstances, so many other connected evidences are there, that the witnesses from where the drum was purchased, witnesses from where the knives were purchased, from the cement was purchased, and all these things, and also something was ordered on online. All these things are to be connected by the investigating officer, and more important that the scientific evidence, FSL report after the autopsy, and this autopsy report will definitely prove as a very, very good piece of evidence because of the brutality aspect. So many other stab wounds are there in the body, and this cannot be
right.
This is a very predominated and well-planned murder, heinous murder case of that.
My thanks to all of our guests for joining us. We've run totally out of time. Let's slip into a short break.